And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show as we are on our journey to 250,000. So if you like what you hear and you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe and make sure to tell a friend about it. We could be at 250 literally overnight. So I want to talk about Trump recently had this press conference at Mar-a-Lago. And I know everybody saw it. I can't believe the coverage that this ridiculous thing got. But he has this press conference at Mar-a-Lago. So let's look at some of the clips. I mean, in one of them, the first one that we're going to play, Trump claims that no one died on January 6th and that the case shouldn't even exist and that the whole thing is just nonsensical. All right, let's play that clip and then you're going to get my reaction.
No, I think the people that, if you look at January 6th, which a lot of people aren't talking about very much, I think those people were treated very harshly when you compare them to other things that took place in this country where a lot of people were killed. Nobody was killed on January 6th. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken, I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me. If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, same number of people, if not, we had more. And they said he had 1 million people, but I had 25,000 people. But when you look at the exact same picture, and everything's the same because it was the fountains, the whole thing, all the way back to from Lincoln to Washington, and you look at it, and you look at the picture of his crowd, my crowd, we actually had more people. They said I had 25,000, and he had 1 million people. And I'm
wow. All right. First of all, where do you even start? I wish that we had the transcript of that because he's in left field, right field. He's in center field. He's on first base, home, and third. I mean, he's literally all over the field. You can't even figure out what the hell this moron is talking about. First of all, let's start with this. People died on January 6th. All right. We all know Ashley Babbitt was killed. On top of that, so was a bunch of unfortunate police officers, both as a result of the January 6th insurrection. What he's trying to say there, I don't know. And why he's comparing it to anything else, there has not been in at least the last 100 years an attack on our own capital by our own people. I mean, it happened like, what, the 1700s. This is absolute nonsense. The guy has no idea what he's even talking about. And then within a snap of a finger, the guy is already off the January 6th insurrectionists, all right, the hostages as he calls them. And trust me, they are not hostages, all right? Now all of a sudden he's talking about Martin Luther King. And he's talking about crowd size. Remember this. Every time you start to see accordion hands, every time you see this, you have to understand Donald is lying. It is a tell. It's a tick. He has it. Every time you see that, remember what Michael Cohen told you. He is telling a lie. For whatever the reason he does it, he does it. It is a sign that he is lying. And next time that he does it, listen to what he's talking about. But here he's now all of a sudden jumping in from the January 6th insurrection to the attacks to the death by police officers and by Ashley Babbitt and to other people. And now he's talking about Martin Luther King. And he's talking about the incredible speech there on the Great Lawn and how he had more people than even Martin Luther King did for that, despite the fact that people are saying that it's only 25,000, but other people are telling him that he had even more people than Martin Luther King. And you're saying to yourself, the fuck is he talking about? Why? What does this have to do with anything? What is the purpose of that comment all along? But he doesn't stop there. He doesn't stop there because while he's talking about the real estate, and he's talking about, again, the Great Lawn right in front of the Capitol, right in front of the White House and so on, that you can see from all directions. Now, all of a sudden, he invokes the name of Lincoln and Washington. And I'm still trying to figure out why and what's the relevance other than you threw out the names of 2 presidents of the United States. Congratulations. You know at least 2. I mean, this is truly a conglomeration of, as they said in the movie Young Frankenstein with Gene Wilder many, many years ago, This is the ranting of a lunatic mind. He's all over the place. Again, left field, right field, he's all over. You have no idea what he's going to talk about next. So, what are we going to talk about next? Well, Donald finally agrees that he's going to debate Kamala Harris on September 10th. All right, let's go to that clip, and then you're going to hear some more reaction from me.
Right now, with all of that being said, I think it's very important to have debates, and we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement, subject to them, on September 10th. And we've agreed with ABC on September 25th. So we have those three dates, and those networks, they're very anxiously awaiting that date and those dates. So we have September 4th, September 10th, and September 25th. We have spoken to the heads of the network, and it's all been confirmed, other than some fairly minor details. Audience, some location, which city would we put it into, but all things that will be settled very easily. I think it'll be very easy. The other side has to agree to the terms. They may or may not agree. I don't know if they're going to agree. She hasn't done an interview. She can't do an interview. She's barely competent, and she can't do an interview. But I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight.
Sure, Kamala could barely do an interview. Kamala hasn't done an interview. By the way, she's done more interviews in the last 3 weeks, I would say, certainly than Trump, who's been hiding out, whether playing golf or just eating. Who the hell knows? But here's the interesting thing. If I know Donald at all, of course, the first one that he wants right out of the gate is going to be Fox. Why? Because I don't believe he's going to do the MSNBC, NBC one on September 10th or the ABC date on the 25th. I think after the Fox one, he's going to get his ass handed to him by Kamala so badly, and he's going to claim that he's treated improperly, even though it's going to be by Fox News, and he has two of his, favorite sycophantic journalists that are going to be doing it. I think he ends up bowing out after the 4th, and that way he thinks he's going to get some sort of an uplift as a direct result. He thinks he's going to be able to create some control over the debate. He wants to know where it's going to be done and under what terms. He wants to make sure that there's a crowd size. You heard him talk about that. There's something with Donald and sizes and crowds. And we've all seen him talk about it again and again and again. There's something there. When Donald says something, and the real question you ask yourself is, why does he even say this stuff? Why are you telegraphing it? He can't help himself. That's the whole problem. The guy just cannot help himself. My true belief is that after the 4th, he's not going to do the NBC or the ABC one because, again, he's getting beaten up so badly day in and day out, day in and day out. And not just him, but his vice presidential running mate, Shady Vance. The same thing. They're just getting beaten up every day. And the funniest part about the whole thing is it's not even the Democrats that are beating up on Trump and Shady. It's not. It's them and the stupid things that they keep saying. I mean, why he's now questioning Kamala, she's not even competent to do it. Really? Seriously? I mean, other than him saying it, what is he even talking about? It makes no sense. And here's Kamala's tweet or her response to Donald Trump's comment. This is great. I hear that Donald Trump has finally committed to debating me on September 10. I look forward to it. So once again, it is a drop the mic moment by Kamala Harris. I mean, she doesn't have to go on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes rambling like Donald Trump does. I mean, you think he's getting paid by the minute. No, she does it in like 10 words or less. Boom. I look forward to it. And of course she does. She knows that she's debating someone who's inferior. He has no knowledge about any of the specifics. When you fact check everything, they fact checked his speech over at Mar-a-Lago, and they found that yet again it is fraught with lies and misinformation, malinformation and disinformation. It's truly sick. And then he goes on. Donald has to, of course, talk about Hillary Clinton. And this, to me, I found interesting. The fact that he's making claims now that thanks to him, he protected Hillary Clinton because so many people were chanting, "Lock him up." Let's watch that clip, and then you're going to get my reaction.
You know, with Hillary Clinton, I could have done things to her that would have made your head spin. I thought it was a very bad thing. Take the wife of a president of the United States and put her in jail. And then I see the way they treat me. That's the way it goes. But I was very protective of her. Nobody would understand that, but I was. I think my people understand it. They used to say, lock her up, and I'd say, just relax, please. We won the election. I think it would be I think it would have been horrible for our country and we had her between the hammering of all of the files. And don't forget, she got a subpoena from the United States Congress. And then after getting the subpoena, she destroyed everything that she was supposed to get. I thought it was so bad to take her and put her in jail, the wife of a president of the United States. And then when it's my turn, nobody thinks that way. I thought it was a very terrible thing. And she did a lot of very bad things.
Okay. So what is this really about? This is about Donald and only about Donald. When he's talking about is me. It's all about me. I couldn't have done it. I did this. How about he turns around and he says that they were all screaming. Everybody was screaming. And remember, when he uses those terms too, everyone, smart people have told him, that it's a lie. He's making it up. But he never turned around and said to them, stop chanting, lock her up. Instead, he was the one that was egging her on. The fact is right now, the crowds of the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are all screaming, lock him up. All right. And he doesn't like it because he's being indicted for it, as he was on now the 4 indicted counts. Lock him up. That's the result of something called accountability. It's about when you break the law, there is accountability, and it generally means some form of jail time, home confinement, etc. Then he turns around and he's trying to validate what he did. And he's talking about Hillary Clinton and destroying some telephone or some communications after she was subpoenaed and so on. No, that's not true. What he's doing is he's trying to shift blame off of what he did. You'll remember he ordered the hard drive, the server at Mar-a-Lago to be submerged in water, right? He wanted them to destroy it. He wanted them to destroy evidence after not one, not two, but a third subpoena for the documents. You may remember Jenna Ellis actually just pled, and she's now going to become a government witness simply because she signed a document that I believe it was Boris Epstein who turned around and told her to sign, that said that there were no more documents in Donald's possession that relate to the subpoena. And that was a lie. And why was it a lie? Because Donald doesn't give a shit. He didn't care what happened to this young lady, this lawyer. He doesn't care about her law license or her reputation, her honor, right? Her future. It's all about him. And that's what he's doing here. He's turning it all about me. He never once stood up and tried to protect Hillary Clinton. And the fact that he wasn't able to do anything, don't think for a second it was because of his own volition. It was because there was nothing for him to do. That's the whole issue. So this, again, is all about him and only him. And then Donald was asked, why haven't you been out campaigning? What have you been doing? What's going on? Nobody has heard or seen from you in a couple of days. Let's watch that clip and you'll get my final reaction.
Okay.
Mr. President, you have not had a public campaign event for nearly a week now. Tomorrow you'll be in Montana, which is not a swing state. Some of your allies have expressed concern that you're not taking this race seriously, particularly at a time where there is enthusiasm on the other side. Why haven't you been campaigning this week? Because
I'm leading by a lot and because I'm letting their convention go through. and I am campaigning a lot. I'm doing tremendous amounts of taping here. We have commercials that are at a level I don't think that anybody's ever done before. Plus, in certain cases, I see many of you in the room where I'm speaking to you on phones, I'm speaking to radio, I'm speaking to television. Television's coming over here. Excuse me, what are we doing right now? She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference. And I'm sorry, we need smart people to lead this country because our country's never been in this danger before, both economically and from an outside perspective. Russia doesn't respect us anymore. China doesn't respect us anymore. North Korea, Kim Jong-un liked me a lot. He doesn't like this group. We are in great danger. We're in great danger of being in World War III. That could happen.
Yeah, fear, fear, fear. That's what Donald is. He's a fear mongerer. First and foremost, he said he's not doing anything and he wants to let the convention go through. The convention starts August 19th and it goes to the 23rd. So what is he talking about? Well, he's going to Montana now, which of course, as the journalist said, is not a swing state. I didn't understand that part of the question, but look at how fast he is to attack this journalist. That's a stupid question. Why is it a stupid question? All they're doing is asking. And then, on top of everything, he starts to invoke the names of the few leaders that he actually remembers the name of. And these are the people, these are these autocrats, these monarchs, these supreme leaders, these kings, these Führers, that he so desperately wants to join that club. And it's why he continues to shit on our country. Our economy is bad. Our economy is not bad. Donald doesn't even know what he's talking about. In fact, our GDP is #1 in the world by a multiple. All right. Our unemployment is still the lowest ever in U.S. history. But Donald never has anything good to say. And none of these other countries respect us. Oh, okay. Wait. Let's stop for a second. Who doesn't respect us? Kim Jong-un? Who gives a shit? China? Really? We haven't been fighting with China for how many decades now, including when Trump was president? Russia doesn't respect us. Russia, isn't impressed with America. Really? Really? Again, look at what Donald's doing. He's shitting all over our country. But only he can make America great again, right? Great. Highly doubtful. Again, I can't understand why anybody's giving this guy 3 seconds of airtime to continue to spew this nonsense. And it's why I'm going to now finish this episode, as I always do, Vote Harris Walz 2024. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.